and welcome to day 8 of the Crochet Society Advent Crochet Along. Today we are going to be working with two colours, so the colour from day 7 and also day 8 colour, and we'll be using them throughout today. We are actually going to be doing some overlay mosaic crochet now, so we are going to be working row by row, so you will be cutting your yarn at the end of each row. So let's go ahead. We want to start off with colour 8, which is this one here, and we're going to join with a standing double crochet into the first stitch. So we want to go ahead and create a slip knot and take our stitch marker out of that first stitch and join with a standing double crochet. So go into the stitch. Remember, I'm working in UK terms. In the US this is a standing single crochet. Yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and you can go ahead and mark your first stitch with your stitch marker. So just a reminder, everything is going to be left in the description box, so follow the link and you'll get your hands on the written instructions for this, which will include the charts if you prefer using charts for mosaic crochet, but I will talk you through this as well. So we've joined our colour with standing double crochet, and then we're going to do a pattern repeat. We're going to do 4 back loop double crochets. So into the next stitch we'll do back loop double crochet, 1, 2, 3 and 4. We're then going to do 1 front loop treble, 2 down. So we're going to have a look at this next stitch and then have a look at the stitch below, which is where we can see this missed front loop, and that's where we're going to work into. So we're going to yarn over, go into the front loop of that stitch and complete our treble crochet, which is a double in US terms. And then we're going to do 3 back loop double crochets. So we miss the one that we've just worked over, and we go 1, 2 and 3. So that's the pattern repeat for this row. So I'll just repeat once more. You'll do 4 back loop only double crochets, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then 1 front loop treble, 2 down. So it's yarn over, go down to the front loop, finish off your treble, miss that stitch that we've just worked over, and then 3 back loop double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. You're going to repeat that all the way to the end until you have 2 stitches remaining. So go ahead, pause the video, work those stitches, and then meet me back once you're ready. Okay, so once you have been all the way across and you have your 2 stitches remaining, you're then going to do 1 back loop double crochet and then 1 double crochet, so into the full stitch at the end of the row, and then you can go ahead and fasten off that colour. We're then going to join colour 7, so this colour again, and we're going to join using a standing double crochet. So go ahead and attach your yarn and meet me back in just a moment. Okay, so I have just done my standing double crochet into that first stitch and I've marked my stitch. Now for row 2, we're going to do a pattern repeat starting after that first standing double crochet, and the pattern repeat starts like this. We're going to do 3 front loop, 2 down treble crochets. So we're going to look for the front loop, 2 rows down, so that's this one just here, and do 1 and into the next one, 2 and into the next one, 3. We're then going to miss those 3 stitches, and we have 3 back loop double crochets. So these should fall into the front loop, 2 down treble here, that's the middle one, and 2 either side, just to make it easier for you, so you can see where these are going. So into those back loops, followed by 2 front loop treble crochet, 2 down, so 1 and 2, and then you're going to start that pattern repeat again. So 3 treble, so 3 front loop treble, 2 downs, 1 2 3, and then those back loop double crochets into those 3 stitches. So rewind the video if you need to get those instructions again, but you should be able to see this these 2 double crochets and then the what I call a drop down treble just here. So it's the front loop treble, 2 down in the center. So work your way across until you have 2 stitches remaining, and then meet me back once you're ready. Okay, so when you get to the end here, you have your 2 stitches left. You're going to go ahead and do 1 front loop treble, 2 down, and then finish with a double crochet. And then you can go ahead and fasten off. So snip off your yarn. I've already done mine. And then you want to pull out, and we're going to attach the colour 8 with a standing double crochet into the first stitch. So go ahead and attach that next colour, and we'll move on to row 3. Okay, so once you've done your standing double, we'll move on to row 3. You want to put a stitch marker in there. I'm not going to put one in just because I don't want it to scrape on the table as I'm working. So for row 3, we're going to start off with 3 back loop double crochets to begin the pattern repeat. So back loop double, 1, 2 and 3, and then 3 front loop treble, 2 down. So it's on these 3 stitches here, yarn over, find that first one, and we have 1, 2 and 3, and then we're going to do 2 back loop double crochets, 1 and 2, and then you'll start the pattern repeat again. So 3 back loop double crochets, 3 front loop treble, 2 downs, and then 2 back loop double crochets all the way across until you have 2 stitches remaining, and then meet me back to finish off this row. Okay, so at the end of this row, we're going to finish off with a back loop double crochet and then a double crochet into the last stitch, and you can go ahead and fasten off, and then we're going to reattach this colour with a standing double crochet into the first stitch. So go ahead, prepare for row 4, and then meet me back in a moment. Okay, so after adding colour 7 with a standing double crochet, our pattern repeat is going to start from here. We'll start off with 2 front loop treble, 2 downs. So finding that next stitch and going down into that front loop. 1 and 2. We then have 5 back loop double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. To check the position of these, you should find that they are in the top of these 3 stitches here and 1 either side. That's your 5 stitches. We then have 1 front loop treble 2 down into the next stitch, and then you are going to repeat again. So 2 front loop treble 2 downs, 5 back loop double crochets, followed by 1 front loop treble 2 downs. So you're going to repeat that all the way across until you have 2 stitches remaining, and then meet me back once you're ready. Okay, at the end of this row, when you have your 2 stitches remaining, you're going to do 1 front loop treble 2 down into the next stitch, and then a double crochet into that final stitch. And you can go ahead and fasten off. And you want to reattach colour 8 with a standing double crochet into this first stitch, and then meet me back once you're ready. Okay, so for row 5, after your standing double crochet, we'll then start the pattern repeat, and this starts off with 2 back loop double crochets. So we go into that next stitch and do a back loop double crochet and a back loop double crochet. We then have 2 front loop treble 2 downs, so going into that next stitch, 1 and 2. We have 1 back loop double crochet, and the position of that is in the middle of these 3 stitches from a couple of rows down. And then we have another 2 front loop treble 2 downs, so find that next stitch, 1 and 2, like so. So we have a gap in the middle, and then we're going to do 1 back loop double crochet, and that is your pattern repeat. So you'll start that again from the beginning, so those 2 back loop double crochets. Rewind the video if you need to, work your way until you have 2 stitches remaining, and then meet me back once you're ready. Okay, at the end of this row, we're going to do a back loop double crochet and then a double crochet into the last stitch to finish off this row. Fasten off, and then attach colour 7 with a standing double crochet to your first stitch, and we'll move on to row 6. Okay, so after we have attached colour 7 with a standing double crochet, we're going to start our pattern repeat, and this starts off with a 1 front loop treble 2 down, 3 back loop double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and you're going to simply repeat that all the way across. So this next one will go into that section just there. So front loop treble crochet, 3 back loop double crochets. So go ahead, repeat that all the way across until you have 2 stitches remaining, and then meet me back once you're ready. Okay, so at the end of this row, when you have 2 stitches remaining, you're going to do 1 front loop treble 2 down, and then finish off with a double crochet into that final stitch, and you can go ahead and fasten off and reattach colour 8 with a standing double crochet to your first stitch. Okay, so for row 7, when you've joined colour 8 with a standing double crochet, we'll get started with the pattern repeat. This is going to be 1 back loop double crochet, 2 front loop treble 2 downs, 1 and 2, 3 back loop double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, that centre one should be just above this stitch here, 2 front loop treble 2 downs, 1 and 2, and then you're going to repeat from the beginning. So repeat from that back loop double crochet, rewind the video if needed, repeat until the last 2 stitches, and then meet me back once you're ready. Okay, so once you've come to the end of the row, we're then going to do 1 back loop double crochet and then a double crochet into that final stitch. Go ahead and fasten off, and then you're going to reattach colour 7 with a standing double crochet to the beginning of your row for row 8. So for row 8, after we've done our standing double crochet, we're going to start our pattern repeat, and that is 4 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 3 and 4, followed by 1 front loop treble 2 down, so it works out to be in the centre of these stitches, and then 3 back loop double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and then you're going to repeat that all the way across. So 4 back loop double crochets, 1 front loop treble 2 down, and then 3 back loop double crochets all the way across until you have 2 stitches remaining. So pause the video and then meet me back once you're ready. Okay, so at the end of this row, you're going to do a back loop double crochet, followed by a double crochet into the last stitch. Go ahead and fasten off, and then you want to reattach colour 8 to the first stitch so that we can move on to row 9. So after we've connected our colour 8 with a standing double crochet, for row 9 we're going to start off our pattern repeat with 2 front loop treble 2 downs. So into that next stitch, 1 and 2. We'll then do 5 back loop only double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then 1 front loop treble 2 down, and then you start your pattern repeat again. So go ahead, rewind the video if you need to, work that pattern repeat until you have 2 stitches remaining, and I'll show you how to finish off this row. Okay, so once you have your last 2 stitches remaining, you're going to do a front loop treble 2 down, and then a double crochet into that final stitch. You can go ahead and fasten off, and then you want to reattach colour 7 to your first stitch using a standing double crochet. Okay, so once you have attached colour 7 with a standing double crochet, row 10 is actually going to be a repeat of row 8. So I'll just remind you of what that is. We're going to do 4 back loop only double crochets, 1, 2, 3 and 4, a front loop treble 2 down, so that is going to work out to be the center of these stitches, and then 3 back loop double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and go ahead and repeat that all the way across until you have 2 stitches remaining. Okay, at the end of this row we're going to do a back loop double crochet and then a double crochet into that last stitch. Go ahead, fasten off your yarn, and that is the end of day 8. So this is what your project is looking like so far. So as I say, that is day 8. Please make sure that you share your progress with myself, Crochet Society and Rosina, because we would absolutely love to see your progress. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again in the next video.